Welcome back to Gilmore Racing. The preparation for Winton is underway, and I thought I'd take the opportunity to give you a look at some of the aerodynamic features of this Formula 3 car, how they work and how we change them track to track to get the best results out of the car. Now, one of the most important features of any open wheel downforce car is the ride height, how low you can get the floor of the car to the racetrack without it making contact to the racetrack. So stationary, the front ride height of this car is less than an inch. And as the speed increases, this ride height drops as the wings begin to produce downforce. Now we can control the ride height of the car with the shocks and the springs and those sorts of things. And we can also monitor the ride height via the telemetry on the car. The data logging system has got sensors on each shock to monitor the travel. So we know how high the car is at any given point, how it's handling the bumps, but not just that, we can calculate downforce by how low the car becomes at speed. This has a lot of benefits. If this car was to bottom out, it would severely reduce the amount of air going to the rear diffuser, so severely reducing the downforce created, particularly at the back of the car. So if this was to happen mid-corner where the car was to bottom out, generally the driver and the car end off way off the track. It reduces the downforce, gets rid of all the grip he had before, and off he goes. So ride height is extremely critical. We will use the rake of the car to generate more or less downforce at higher or lower speeds. Hence, we can activate what we call the rear diffuser at different speeds. Winton that we go to is probably our lowest average speed of any racetrack. So we need to activate the underside of the car as quickly as possible. Another tip we'll use is at Winton in particular, we know that ambient temperature is going to be very cold. So we've got a variety of radiator blanking plates. So we've got big ones, we've got small ones, and we've got medium ones for different temperature days. Now, why do we do this? The radiator is in the side pod of the car. So the less air we need to put through the radiator, the more efficient the car aero becomes. So instead of wasting air pushing it through the radiator and out the radiator exhaust, we can push it over the top of the side pod, which then goes to the rear wing, or under the side pod, with it then goes to the rear diffuser. Now, also critical is aero balance. It's no good having a whole lot of rear grip if we don't have front grip, and vice versa. It makes the car basically undrivable. So every change we do, we need to complement at the other end. Front and rear wings are heavily adjustable. Rear wing adjustment probably has 30 adjustments, and we have different planes we can put on. We've got low downforce, medium downforce, and high downforce, depending on the track we use. And up the front of the car is very similar, a whole lot of adjustment, and we also have different small elements that we can put on the car for different tracks. And this is to activate maximum downforce at different speeds. If we were to run too much rear wing at a fast track, we would lose top speed and become slow. If we were to run too little wing at a slower track, we would never generate enough grip to keep the mid-corner speed up. Also, back to the front of the car. Now, Noah dropped the wheel off and ripped a hole on the front of the car off. And without being critical on the driver, if you're not on the part of the track you should be driving on, there's every chance you'll cause damage down the side of the car. We've talked a lot about the wood under the car, how it's designed to slap on the ground. The front of the car is also, very, very low. So the front skid plates on the wing ends, they do hit the track, they do drag. But this whole area in behind the front wheel, it really directs the air into the side pods, around the side pods, and also under the car. And under the car is where these cars generate the most amount of downforce. The wings are mainly there just to get the balance back. So if we can get the rear of the car to work, the better it is. So when Noah had his off and we lost all the front area, we carry spares but a damaged tub, so we weren't able to fix it on the spot. The engineer did the best he could to get him back out on track and compensated the best he could with the adjustments he had to get the aero balance back in it. But because so much was missing, Noah had really bad understeer, so not only was the car slow, but it destroyed a set of tyres in 8 laps because we no longer had that balance. So now that we've got everything back in the front, it's all been repaired, the tub's repaired, but that is critical. Every little turning vane on this car serves a purpose, and where it comes from under the front wing, through the turning vanes, through the big barge boards on the side and over the side pods, complements the rear of the car. So every change we make at the front, we need to balance with a change at the back, and vice versa. A lot of adjustment, a lot to get the head around, and if we make a mistake in the setup, it could damage our race tyres for the weekend. It could cause an accident that could have been prevented. So a whole lot of pressure on the data engineer, a whole lot of pressure on the race engineer, but when this thing is set up properly, it's a really fast car.